All right, change of pace. We were trying to watch some Cobra and have some fun, but honestly, I was pretty upset because this guy that did a King Cobra documentary, it sucks. It's crap. So instead, we're gonna watch a couple of brain damaged dipshits talk about Darkness, the Devil, Heath Ledger, and Sacrifice. Good idea. This is a good idea. Co-signing on this. Let's go.
I don't go to the devil to play the devil. I think many actors make that mistake. Go to God to tell you who the devil is. That's what I do. And it also gives me a protection.
What's the difference? What's the difference, Jim? Like, because that also bears on how you protect yourself from such things.
Okay. This is fascinating. This is pretty fascinating. Okay, so Jim Caviezel, he goes and talks to God to know about the devil. Jesus Christ. Okay, let's go.
Are you saying the difference in the difference is that I play the truth. So if you go to the devil to play the devil will deceive you and put something up there that deceives the public. He'll always try to hide in the shadow. He'll always try, because he doesn't like the light, even though he's called the light, the illuminator.
First of all, the devil's not fucking real. Second of all, I mean, we could get into this is post-coma Peterson. Both these men are irreparably brain damaged. Irreparably fucking brain damaged. We can get to the whole biblical aspect of what the devil even is. The devil, Shaitan, Lucifer, blah blah blah. How none of them are the same person.
Lucifer.
The devil is not Lucifer, and the Lucifer is not Satan, and the fucking God.
And he tries to mimic God. He tries to be like God. So there's always
This is him explaining his OC. This is his headcanon, you know? Honestly, the perceptions of hell and the devil are not rooted in contemporary, or into actual historical Christianity, save for the fact that well after their own religious texts were written, people just made shit up, you know? It's great.
If God has love, and what we see as love, he creates lust. He's always trying to be like that. It's like Cain trying to rip off Abel, cutting the corners. And
Cain didn't try and rip off Abel. What? Abel produced the beasts of the land in sacrifice to God, and Cain produced vegetables and fruit. And God seemed to favor Abel more than Cain. Cain did not rip off of Abel. Cain became jealous because his sacrifice is not as appreciated as Abel's, which also kind of points to God being a little bit of a judgmental prick. And so Cain bashed his brother's head in with a rock. That's not even... You don't even know your own religion.
So committing to...
There's a tendency, even in Milton's in Milton's Paradise Lost.
More made up shit. Good. Also, I like Paradise Lost, but whatever.
There's been two readings of that forever, and one of them is that Milton's Satan is an anti-hero of the most profound sort, really the embodiment of evil. And the other reading is that Milton's Satan is a disguised hero and the eternal, what would you say, the eternal rebel against established order and someone to emulate in consequence, and that Milton somehow knew that and was coding that, not precisely secretly, but subtly. And I think that's a huge mistake. I mean, I've familiarized myself with Paradise Lost, and I think that Milton was an extraordinarily subtle writer and that he got everything as right as anyone ever has. But the reason I'm bringing that up is...
It's fiction, Jordan. It's fucking fiction. It's fiction. Milton wasn't claiming he was writing historical fact. Remember when Cain slew Abel over a bad crypto pump and dump? As one should, yes.
Is because, so this is a complicated thing to untangle, but
Oh, please.
One of the things you see in Hollywood portrayals of villains, you saw this in The Silence of the Lambs, you see it frequently in mafia portrayals, is that the villain is inadvertently or even sometimes purposefully glorified. And it's partly because he's a rule breaker and has the attraction that goes along with that. But I also wonder too if it has something to do with what you were describing, is that the writers and the actors find themselves, when they're trying to portray evil, pulled towards falseness in that representation as part of the proclivity of evil to hide itself. And
is the reason why Anthony Hopkins was so good as Hannibal Lecter, is it because he was pulled into the notion of hiding the fact that evil is really uncool by Satan? All right.
the danger in that is twofold. And one is the danger of deceiving the public as to the true nature of evil, because there's nothing heroic about it, quite the contrary. And the second danger I wonder about, there's all this speculation about Heath Ledger and the consequences that for him of having played the Joker in such a dark manner. And, I don't know what to make of that, although I do think there is some danger in
Why would you? Okay, I don't know what to make of that. Why bring it up?
having to journey down a path of emulating evil in order to represent it. Now, you said that you turned to God, so to speak, to protect yourself against false representations of evil, but also in some ways to shield yourself. And it sounds to me reminiscent of what Tim's superiors mentioned to him when they said to him that his faith might protect him
I love his question.
from what was... Okay, go ahead, man.
This is
I love this question. What question? He just opened his mouth and spewed diarrhea for almost 3 minutes straight. What the fuck?
it's the best interview I've ever had in my life. I love your line of questioning and getting to what is real.
Head empty. There are no more thoughts in this man's fucking brain. This man is a fucking moron. I was reading a list of like all of the complaints people had on Person of Interest, and how like this dude is so goddamn delusional that he'll like go up to somebody who's Chinese and start talking to them in Chinese, but it's not Chinese, but he really thinks it is. He starts like trying to talk in a little bit of a really over-exaggerated racist accent. Like he is an idiot. This man is a brain-damaged dumb fuck, which makes sense why he's talking to Jordan Peterson. So, whatever.
My job is to give what I know to be absolutely certain and real. I hooked into Tim, has a childlike quality to him, and I stay with that innocence, and don't take that innocence as weakness. So when I read the scripture, I feel truth, good, evil, and I find the good, and let that just pierce the darkness.
Sometimes when I go to the bathroom, I make poopy, but forget to wipe. That's Satan.
And it has to pierce. And I know what that light is. And I know that deception that when I start hearing about, for example, in your life, there's two masters here. One is from the evil, wicked side, but he comes in through your ego. And the other one is the light side that tells you what you might not want to hear, but you ought to hear. And it's not manipulative. It's truth. So I go to that side, then I pray, then I go through it. Like the Passion of the Christ, I looked at the Shroud of Turin. And there were two men, Christian Tinsley and Keith Vanderlyn, who are experts in makeup. And both of these men were agnostic. And they looked at the shroud that Mel Gibson presented to them. And one particular way, the way it is through the negative, however they were able to show it, you can see the track lines of Jesus. You can see the actual bamboo sticks that they used to initially hit them. And then you see the cat of nine tails, the track lines. They look like the Grand Canyon in your skin. And it shocked them. Now, these guys look at...
Is he trying to claim that Mel Gibson had the real shot of Turin? I'm very curious. No, I know. What he is trying to like explain how all of this is like real and the real fight between good and evil and blah blah blah. Is he actually? His brain is buffering and overheating in real time. Absolutely. Yeah. He got a defective GPU. Yeah. That's so crazy. It's so crazy. Who knew that Mel Gibson had the real shot of Turin the whole time?
Everything from decapitations, murders, and everything. Prior to this, I did a movie a long time ago in New York, and I was with Homicide, and I got to see the contortion of a face when someone gets murdered, and it's hard to watch. But when you start going into this, which is children, there is something that I can't even fathom, even with the protection of Almighty God, because it took me 2 years to get over this. 2 years, and a friend of mine, Debbie, came into the room, and at around 3 o'clock in the middle of the night, I was in a chair, and she heard me just weeping. Now, I would go into these black holes, and I have no idea. I don't remember it, but this was all of the screaming.
Does Mel Gibson have the Ark of the Covenant too? Yeah, I'm sure he stores it in his bathroom, kind of like Trump with some top secret.
That I had to hear. I didn't want to hear it, but I had to hear it. And then I was able to transform that into the movie that you just saw when I asked Alejandro Monteverdi to move our DP to take it and show him my eyeball so you would see a 20-foot eye to see what Tim goes through to rip his heart out. Now, it's not like this is what I want to experience any more than I want to get on a cross and have my heart broken. I went through hypothermia.
Why in the fuck did they mention Heath Ledger if they're not going to talk about it? It's just Jim being like, I have suffered and I am very, very important. I mean, this tracks with like everything people were saying about him on Person of Interest. Like, he is entirely self-absorbed. He cannot really even contemplate of like other real people and who they are. Like, they're just like toys for or props for his own like main character story. You know, it's weird.
I had to have open heart surgery. I was electrocuted, struck by lightning. I understand the necessity of what I was going to have to go through could help bring people back to God, to wake them up. And quite frankly, more people now, Jordan, are more afraid of the devil than they are of God because they want a happy Jesus. And the problem is that
God.
eventually...
Dude, this just keeps going until like 9 minutes. Then it's an ExpressVPN ad. And then it goes back to it. Fuck this. Okay, so after the ad... Fucking Daily Wire, man.
How has this changed you? How is experiencing that material and having to play it out changed you?
I'd give my life in a heartbeat. Changed me. I'm less concerned about myself than I am about the hurt. I will tell you this right now. I would absolutely die. If this were to change the world and get rid of trafficking and pornography and all of the 8 arms of this octopus that has to be destroyed, the only way you can destroy it is take the head out. If that hit, I'd give my life for it in a heartbeat.
I support this. I support this 100%, you know? Just go for it, buddy. Just go for it. I believe in you. I believe in you. Holy shit, man. Like... Jordan Peterson finally found somebody to interview that makes him sound sane. That's impressive.